in answer to your question, to work, what attracted me, besides the great crew that I found myself working with, Hutch in particular, he gave me the capability to, spitball a lot of ideas and belongings, and I think we turned out really well. But with regards to the subject matter, what attracted it to me was that it was not like a struggle message movie. The characters weren't overcoming like a society, the societal mores of homophobia or anything like that. It was just an honest human story about two people, and just the simplest struggle of all, just finding someone who's perfect for you in this wayward, strange, tough world.
I AD'd a bunch of indie films here in Austin, and when I read Pit Stop, the script, without even really having talked to anybody on the project, I was really immediately taken. The pacing was really what drew me in, because a lot of people write scripts that are like flash, flash, shock, 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 and it was the first time in a long time I had read a script that was patient and allowed his characters to mature and allowed the story to build without just going straight for the shock factor, and I really appreciated that. And then I met Yen, and I realized it was going to be a nightmare. I'm kidding. It was absolutely wonderful. The whole cast and crew. I miss working on it, actually. I hope for another one soon. So.
For me, it was a wonderful process because Yin sent me the script like 2.5 years before we shot it, something like that. And it was weird because Yin sent it to me just like, hey, I want to hear your thoughts on this. And I had no idea that he was even interested in having me work on it. And I remember reading it, and I cried the first time I read it. And it was such a beautiful, it was like the most beautiful script I'd ever read. And I immediately called him back and was just like gushing about how amazing it was. And then I think our conversations just kind of started developing, and we were starting talking about the characters. And then, it was weird because I actually remember the day that he actually asked me if I wanted to shoot it. It was actually the day he left Dallas, and he wanted me to come over to his house to pick up some, he had some lighting gear, like some gel or something that somebody had left over there. He said, do you want this? I said, sure, come over. And came over and talked to him for like an hour, and then I'm driving home and I get this text, and he's like, oh, hey, I meant to ask you, would you like to shoot this? And I literally, I stopped my car, right where I was at. I stopped at this gas station and, immediately responded. And it was I think, fuck yeah, or something like that. And it was such a wonderful experience to work on, because you and I think we have very similar ideas about, how the tone of this film would go. And it was amazing because it never felt like we were, hindered or something. We always, we're on the same page, and we always had the general idea of what it was. Honestly, on all the films I've ever shot, I think this is the least amount of, arguments with the director I've ever had. It's just a beautiful experience. And then to top it off, all the actors were amazing. I mean, it was a joy every day to go to work and, work with these people, because everybody was super professional and super nice, and you could tell that everybody was in this because they loved the script. And so you don't always get that when you work on a set. And so it's really nice to know that you're working with a group of people that just loves what they do and loves the project.
I know it's getting a little late, and we all have something to say about this one story, or this answer, but it might be good if there's any other questions, just to get those out there.
That's a producer.